Right? And I'm not playing no games. Yeah.
Hey, I'm Pops, and I want to get to Kenobi. Let's put this freaking thing to bed. If you don't want spoilers, you don't want to watch my video, here's a spoiler alert. I hate the show. I freaking hate this show. The show is freaking crap, and I'm going to explain to you why I think it's crap, illustrate to you why I think some people don't think it is, why some people love this show, and that's what we're going to get into. So I finally finished episode 6, had a stream, so I was able to just film this video real quick. I'm going to upload it tomorrow. I want to try to be able to have a chance to see other people's comments and reactions, but I want to give you my thoughts and stuff before I do that because I don't want it to be tainted, so to speak. But so here's the thing. Reva's taking a lot of heat, and this poor lady, Moses Ingram's taking a lot of heat, and she is not to blame for this show being freaking crap. This show is crap because the writers are crap. The producers are crap. Let me tell you why. That they basically are trying to give you a whole lot of nostalgia intertwined around horrible stories in writing and efforts at story arcs that don't even make sense or contradict themselves. So, for instance, there are lines that are contrived and wedged into the show in these episodes, just so you'll go, oh, that's from New Hope, or oh, that's from the prequels. I remember that from Revenge of the Sith. And remember when they fought last time? Oh, yeah. They think that's what you want. They think that's what you need to make you happy. You have to be better than that. Stop buying the lie that you love it. Okay? Because step back for a second and realize, okay, sure, I got it. They're pulling at your heartstrings to see Obi-Wan fight Vader again. I got it. I like it too in some ways, but it doesn't make a lot of sense. So even if we're going to give the benefit of the doubt, let's back up for a second. Talk about what's actually happened in the show. So, as you remember, episode 5 ends where Rebels get away again. Now, I don't understand how they even get this far because there's a Star Destroyer in the orbit, and they should just be able to, lock this thing in, tractor beam it in, and pull it in. But instead, we're going to have a chase scene where this ship lasts way too long against the firepower of a Star Destroyer. We have to have the Grand Inquisitor, who showed up at the end of episode 5. We don't know how he survived getting run through by Reva, but he's there. Now, for those of you who are going to call me out on that, I want to point out something. I understand Rebels exists. I understand the folklore of the EU and all of the different comic books and things that are out there. Listen, I'm that nerd, okay? However, when you critique a show or you develop an opinion of a show, it has to be within the framework of what's been explained to you. And if the movies and TV shows haven't said any of that, then it doesn't exist, okay? They've not tried to say the show has the same lore as Rebels when they try to kill off the Grand Inquisitor who was introduced in Rebels, okay? We don't understand how people are surviving lightsaber attacks. Like, we don't understand at all how Reva survived one. She survived 2. She survived this. So when they show the cut, there's a cut scene in this episode when Reva's flashing back, because of course she's the little Padawan, little tiny youngling in the opening scene back in episode 1. We all knew it was her. And you see Anakin as Vader. So he's basically Vader, and he strikes her down. You see the flashback. You see it cut, right? You also see that when Vader runs her through, like, you see her reliving these moments, right? But we don't get how she survives any of that stuff. She's a human. How is she freaking surviving this stuff? Like, lightsabers are just not this deadly, evidently, anymore. Anyway, we don't understand why the Star Destroyer is not using all of its power and might. We have no idea why they're not dispatching TIE fighters, why they're not tractor beaming this thing. Instead, we get Obi-Wan with his, melancholy approach to everything. They only want me. Whatever. And he takes a shuttle to go to this planet by himself. Okay. Now, and then the Grand Inquisitor asks Vader what to do. It's like, stay on Kenobi. Makes no sense why we can't do 2 things at once. Like, they easily could have let Vader go down and deal with Kenobi, taking like 4 or 5 stormtroopers with him. He didn't take any stormtroopers with him, as far as I saw. It was a cool shot seeing him descend on the planet. But we're supposed to suspend all of our disbelief on how the Empire operates, because the Empire is treated like they're freaking morons in this series. Like there's no way these people would run the galaxy. They can't even freaking get the rebel scum from some random planet. They have no idea where Kenobi's going. He's going to take this little girl back to Alderaan. So put some freaking people back on Alderaan. You know where she goes. Anyway, forget it. Let's move on. Obi-Wan versus Vader. It's fine. I like seeing them fight too. I like the way they use the colors. I like the way some of the shots were done. I hated the fact that the writers suck so bad, because Vader shows up and it's like the dialogue is reversed. They either mess this up with editing, or the writer is that bad. I don't believe the writers are that bad. They had 5 writers on this episode, by the way. 5. They brought Andrew Stanton for the last episode and this episode. I don't know what he did. I'd love to know. But Vader said something like, "You've come to kill me," or something like that. It's like, no, wait, you're going there. It was just this weird line that takes me out of the moment. The fight is fine. Vader is like super powered, though. It's a little more than even the earlier battle, but it was okay. And then having him go down into the trench, like using the Force to break the earth open and having him fall in was fine. It's a little much because it implies the Force did all of that, when it would have been better to think that he did enough to make the ground give, instead of it just being like he made the whole hole. But all this falling on Obi-Wan and him surviving, we're getting carried away with what these guys are capable of. And then, and I know this is intercut. I hated that it's intercut. Like, we have to cut to this, and then we're going to cut to Tatooine, and then we're going to cut over here. We're going to cut over there. I hated all the editing of this episode. So let me just stick to the storylines. Him surviving all of that was a little bit of a stretch. And then suddenly he has a flashback where he starts thinking about Leia with its one random shot of Luke, and that's what powers him up, and he becomes like super powered Jedi again. I'm like, what on earth? What on earth? Makes no sense. And it felt awkward and uncomfortable thinking about Disney and a Disney character, thinking about this little girl the way she did. Like, it was just really strange to me. Anyway, that's what they went for. And he just completely pummels Vader, and then cuts the helmet, which we knew was going to happen. Totally rips off Rebels, or pays homage to Rebels, however you want. To me, it doesn't make a difference. It's just all part of it. Meanwhile, Reva, who sees the message that had fallen to the ground, they're going to Tatooine, so she's going to show up on Tatooine to kill Luke, I guess, is the presumption. I hated the Aunt Beru portrayal here. Owen is like, we have to be careful. We have to leave. We have to do what we can do to protect the boy. Basically, the Sith Lord's coming. He knows about her because he saw her in episode 1, I believe. If not, it was episode 2, but I'm pretty sure it was episode 1. He knows who she is, how powerful and evil she is. Aunt Beru's like, oh, no, we're going to stay. I got a plan. Shut your mouth, man. I'm the woman. I got a plan. Here's this hidden rifle. You're going to do that. I'm like, what the freak? We have to have another. I think it was one of the big name creators, whether it was Gary or Az, or one of them said something about being like, the white brunettes are lecturing the men. And it just freaking keeps happening. Like, I don't understand. If you know the fandom is pointing out different flaws with your stories, but you keep doing it, like, who's the problem here? Because it's not us. I hated it. It's just so dumb that the Lars, Owen and Beru are gonna try to hold their own. I don't understand Reva's motivation and why he's trying to kill Luke now. Like, what is that? What is it? I thought the story was that you were trying to go after Vader and he's kicked your butt, so now you're gonna get to. I don't know how she got to Tatooine. Like, in record time, she got to Tatooine to kill Luke. I don't know why. What did she accomplish by killing Luke? And then instead, it's all like this contrived reason so she can like see herself as a youngling, and she becomes Vader if she kills Luke, which is basically the premise. Oh, I don't know. I don't know why. It's so weak and lame because she's so over the top. We never understand why she doesn't look like an Inquisitor, what her transformation was. We don't know how she survived 2 lightsaber strikes. We don't understand why she behaves like an erratic, arrogant, nasty female and not like one of the controlled, super powerful Inquisitors. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. On the little transport, Leia is like, again, we're going to go back into brat mode where she's like, oh no, Obi-Wan, you can't do that to me. And then she's like talking about how she's got Lola the droid to comfort the kids because they're afraid, implying that she's not afraid. And then at the end, she's returned. I will say this: the Eternals guy. I don't remember their freaking names. It doesn't even matter. The guy can't. The guy may be able to act, but they have him. Oh, his poor portrayal is so over the top that I don't even know if it's him or not, but the direction is terrible. He's like, well, if you'll trust me with her, I'll take her to Alderaan. It's like, well, if you trust a lying fake Jedi, it's like it was at least he's making light of the fact that he can't be trustworthy. At least softens the blow of how stupid of a decision it is to trust Leia to this guy. Anyway, Obi-Wan doesn't take her back to Alderaan. He does. And then at the end, he shows up at Alderaan and sees Bail. We never get an explanation on how the Empire would not know Bail Organa is connected to Obi-Wan because of the kidnapping scheme. We never understand any of these different plot holes and things like that. Reva gets blamed because her character is so bad. People are conflating her terrible character to the actress as the reason they hate the show. And it's fine that she's a terrible character and you hate her, but you're losing the script here, man. This show is nothing but stolen valor. This is basically like you guys liked New Hope and the prequels, so we're gonna keep throwing together all these little references and these little pieces of things, and you'll think our show is okay because they'll give you like this one little piece that's fine, like this one shot, and I liked it Obi-Wan where he's throwing rocks at Vader and we're doing different things in the battle scenes and whatever. But then it's also like, oh, just forget the fact that he couldn't survive this. Like Vader's getting pummeled with boulders. Like, even though he's not using any force to deflect anything or cut, it's like it got way over the top. Like, it's like you're suddenly in video game land. So now your brain of Fallen Order and video games takes over, and you dismiss these stupid things that don't make sense in the movie television verse. Like, this is what we have. We have to have Star Wars, the movie / TV universe, where there's certain rules that have been introduced that may be different than all the rest of it because they are different. That's all there is to it. They've said it's going to be different, right? They don't want the EU. They want things to be different. Because if you think that that's the Boba Fett from the Boba Fett films and Empire and Jedi, I can sell you a bridge in New York too, because that's not the freaking Boba Fett from those films. That's a new freaking Boba Fett. So I treat all of Disney Star Wars as though we're like in an alternate timeline, like a Back to the Future. No matter how far backwards you go, you're in the evil Disney Star Wars universe. You're not actually in the real universe. It's a separate timeline that got broke somewhere when they purchased it, in my opinion. Anyway, I know you people love this show. A bunch of you hate on me. You think I'm just being irrational and I'm being old and I'm out of touch and I'm whatever. And yet none of you are pointing out how many of these things make a whole lot of sense. You guys feel as though this master Jedi general of the army who directed clones in the Clone Wars and was established as this incredible Jedi is suddenly this sulky, sad, melancholy, pathetic individual for like a decade, disconnected from the Force, buries his lightsaber in the sand, completely useless to protect Luke, then abandons Luke to go protect Leia. He's so moved by a 10-year-old little girl who's never been off her planet, no life experiences at all, that he can get all Force back up again on a moment's notice right when he needs it. Then you have Reva, who looks like she came out of like the inner city of America with how she looks and talks, but she's supposed to be an Inquisitor. We don't know why she doesn't look like them, how she got to be an Inquisitor, how she survived the lightsaber strike. Her plan all along was somehow to kidnap Leia, get Obi-Wan out of hiding, to lure Vader to confront Obi-Wan somehow so she could kill Vader. And then when that doesn't go well and she's struck down again, she survives. Her plan is to go kill Luke. These are the storylines you people think is great? Freaking morons. I don't understand you guys. I really don't. Why are you buying into this, man? They're taking advantage of these writers are morons. They're taking advantage of you. They're literally like, it's literally like rat poison. They freaking put like all of this good stuff around it, and there's poison in there, and then you bite it and you wonder why. Oh, yeah, it doesn't taste quite right, but I like it. It's like, Oh, what is wrong with you guys? So, okay, there it is. Just hit me. I know it's coming. It's okay. And you know what? It doesn't bother me, man. I'll take my lumps. I don't care. I think the show's crap. I'll never watch it again. And with that, just know that I just think, you know what? It's time for me to chill. I'll just read your comments. I'll reply. I don't care. Good time, man. Because at the end of the day, chill with boss.
All I do is chill. My life is a thrill, for real, Bob Ross. I be too comfortable.